Hello everyone, welcome back to Perfectly Imperfect Designs. My name is Teresa. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If you haven't, welcome. Please consider subscribing and hitting the bell and the like button if you would. Today I'm going to be making a pretty quick Christmas poinsettia wreath. It's going to be pink. The frame that I'm using is going to be this 12-inch frame. You can purchase one of these at Hobby Lobby. I've even seen them at the Dollar General store. This has 4 bars on it. It also has 5 crossbars. I've taken a 5-count piece of canvas. This comes in like 5-count, 10-count. It's how many holes it has in it per square inch. And just put it on the back with some zip ties so I'll have something to latch my petals onto. I'm also going to be using this 3D poinsettia sign for my center. Pink is all the rage right now with the movies and everything. You know what I'm talking about, the Barbie movies. This isn't going to be necessarily a Barbie wreath, but it is pink. This is available in my shop along with a few other signs and ribbon sets at Perfectly Imperfect Us. And yes, that's at Etsy.com. The mesh that we're going to be using today is this Fuchsia poly burlap. It comes in 10-inch rolls. I cut each piece into 10-inch pieces. We're going to be using the fuchsia. We're also going to be using the light pink. Exact same thing with this. It is 10 inches wide and I'm cutting it to 10-inch square pieces. So we'll be using this as well. And finally, for the mesh, I'm going to be using this beautiful gold poly deco mesh. I think it's considered a metallic check. I'm not too sure, but I will have the SKU numbers down below to everything that I'm going to be using today. I cut my mesh with a wood burning tool to prevent some of the fray. If you do not have one or you're not comfortable using one, you could always use a rotary cutter or a simple pair of scissors to cut whatever materials you want to make this out of. Also going to be using, again, scissors. Scissors are going to be a staple in just about every one of my videos. Wire snippers. I use 6-inch zip ties. You can use whatever zip ties work best for you. I use these little hair elastics. I get these from the Dollar Tree and they come in a bag. I just put them in this and they're called hair elastics. I'm going to be using this wire to put a hanger on the back of the frame. So let's get started. Today I'm going to start out with my fuchsia mesh. And I'm going to be making a petal that you guys have seen me make a lot of times. It's on almost every one of my yardstick crosses. But today I'm making a flower with it. So, manufactured edge at the top at the bottom, sides curled up, turn it into a diamond. I keep my manufactured side into my upper right every time I make a petal so that all of my petals are the same and my entire wreath has a consistent look to it. So, I have a diamond, take the bottom, match it up, that corner, form a triangle. Turn it, go to your point, walk your way up to the other side, flip it up, and I put a rubber band on the bottom. And tie it together. Or tighten your rubber band until you have what sometimes I refer to as a Rita petal, angel wing petal. It kind of looks like flames too. So for my 12-inch wreath form, again, I have 5 sections, 5 crossbars, and 4 rings on the bar. I'll be referring to this ring as ring 1, 2, 3, and 4. So I'm going to take this petal and my zip tie, attach it to the very outside bar 1, lay it in there, and tighten it up. Right there on the crossbar. Okay, for my next one, I'll be doing the same thing with my piece of mesh. Starting out a diamond, manufactured side to my upper right, pull the bottom up to the top, match it up the best you can, start from the point and go to the other side, and you flip it up. Now, what I was saying about the rubber bands being optional, because you could take your zip tie, place it where you are going to want it, which this next one is going to go on bar 2. In the middle. We will have one in every crossbar and one in the middle. So I could just take it like this, lay it down, grab the other side of my zip tie, and try really hard not to fumble with it and everything, but to me, this is why I don't do it that way, and I use rubber bands. To be honest, I mean, it's quicker, and I like to be able to make my petals up beforehand, and then just sit down and put them on the wreath frame so that all that folding part is out of the way. Now I can take my zip tie and use both hands to put it on. And I want to make sure this is in the middle between the 2 crossbars. Okay, I'm going to do a couple more of the fuchsia with you and show you the fold. And then we will go from there and start working the other colors and textures. So again, curl side up, manufactured edge, top and bottom. These are the edges that I burned with my wood burner. Like I said, you don't have to use a wood burner. It just cuts down on the fray because this is poly burlap and it frays pretty easy. This seam in my upper right, fold it up until I get a triangle. Turn it around, walk your fingers up the middle, scrunching it together, and when you get to this, you want to take these and go up. Just like this, and I grab a rubber band, put it around, get my zip tie, go to the very next crossbar on the end, place your petal down, and you tighten it up. It's very repetitive, and like I said, if you make all your petals to begin with, it's a lot easier just to sit down and place them on your wreath frame. If you guys have any questions about the petal or anything else that you see here, just let me know in the comments and I'll answer you the best that I can. Okay, here we go again. We have a piece of mesh. Turn this to my upper right. We have a diamond shape. Turn it into a triangle. Turn it around. Go to the point. And walk my way up. And flip it up. Grab my zip tie, add it. This one here. And tighten it up. Okay, I hope you guys are getting the swing of the petal. I'm going to do one more, show you how I put it on, and then I'm going to continue to go around the rest of the wreath with the fuchsia petals. Here we go again. Turn it, like diamond, turn into a triangle. Turned upside down. I mean, you could start from this side and go to the point. I've did it both ways in videos. So from the point, walk it straight up to the other side. And pinch it together. Well, that one wouldn't open. Okay. Next petal on the crossbar. And there we go. So this is what we're going to continue to do all the way around. On the crossbar right here, very outside, then the second bar. Crossbar, second bar. Okay, I'm going to complete the fuchsia petals and I'll be right back. Okay, you guys, I've completed the outside row with the fuchsia petals. I have a total of 10 petals. Now we are going to start using the gold poly deco mesh. That is this mesh right here. Okay, we're going to use the 10-inch poly deco mesh. I think it's called metallic check. I'm not positive. I'll have to check it out. Put it down just like we did, excuse me, the poly burlap with your sides curled up. Turn it to a diamond. Bring the bottom up to the point. Turn it around. And we have a triangle. Again, let's gather right here all the way up the center and flip your sides up. Again, we come up with the Rita petal, the angel wing petal, whatever you choose to call the petal. Pinch it. I like to do rubber bands on mine because, like I said, I like to make mine up ahead of time. For this set of petals, the second row in, I'm going to be placing these on the second bar, this bar right here, in between all of these. So, like, I'm going to be putting these down a bit. In between the nubs of the fuchsia petals. And tighten it up. So it's right there on the second bar in. I'll show you how to make the petal a few more times with the gold. Have a piece of deco mesh. Put it into a diamond. Bring the bottom up, forming a triangle. Turn it. Try to, get it as straight as you can on both sides. It doesn't have to be perfect. go straight up the middle using the point as your guide and flip it. And you don't have to do what I do. You don't have to use the rubber bands. You can just take it and put it straight into the zip tie. I'm just more comfortable putting a rubber band around it at first. That way I'm able to use two hands to put my zip tie on instead of trying to fumble my way to putting my zip tie in place with one hand, keeping a hold of this. It's just easier. And you know, it's supposed to be relaxing. That's why people make crafts, not to get all aggravated. Lay it in there and put it on. Again, we're working on the second bar and we're just going in between the fuchsia, and it's just so pretty and shiny. Like I said, I use this petal on almost all of my yardstick crosses. Okay, curl side up. Take your diamond to a triangle. Flatten it out. Line it up the best that you can. And scrunch as you walk it up from the point to the seam. And grab your rubber band and put it around, or zip tie, or you know, whatever you have on hand or you choose to use. These are going on the second bar and in between the nubs of my fuchsia petals. Just beautiful. Okay, you guys, I'm going to finish the gold, go all the way around, and I'll be back to get started on our next petals. Okay, you guys, I've completed the second row all the way around. Like I said, this wreath is pretty quick to make. We use the gold poly deco mesh. Put it between the fuchsia petals, and I have 10 petals. Next, we're going to move on to the light pink. Curl sides up, doing the exact same thing. Manufactured side to my upper right. Turn your diamond into a triangle. Turn it around. Start from your point, and if you start at your point and just go straight, you will end up exactly in the middle of the other side, in the center. Now these petals are going to go, of course, a little bit further in. And of course, all the petals are going to be the angel wing petals except for the leaves. So for my light pink poly burlap petals, staying with the crossbar, these are going to go on, these will go up to the, starting from the center, go up 2 bars. Again, doing the exact same thing that we have been doing. One on the crossbar, one in between, then one in between those. And it's just very repetitive. It's going to go on the second bar. Let me get it on here and I'll hold it up closer so you can see it. So the light pink is going to go on this second bar right here. That's one for the crossbar. Now I'm going to put one in the middle one on the crossbar, one in the middle, just like we did the fuchsia petals, but we're just attaching them to a separate bar. Alright, so here we go. Manufacturer side top and the bottom. Pull the bottom up to the top, make your triangle, turn it around, scrunch it up the center, and pull your angel wings up. And again, I tie mine with a rubber band because I like to just sit around and watch TV or do something while I make my petals. Then I can just assemble the wreath. And there's just not so much time taken up that way, and it's just more pleasant, I think. Okay, I'm on that second bar. I'm taking my pink petal, putting it in the middle. Right here. And tighten it up. I hope you guys are understanding the petal fold. If you're not, let me know down below. And maybe I can address it on one of my videos. I definitely will answer you if you're having a problem with it. Okay, diamond, go to our triangle. Now you could scrunch it up from this seam to here. I just like starting at the point. I've made videos doing it both ways, so it's just whatever you prefer. Pull it up. Keep that pinched really tight so it doesn't come undone. It's another good thing about the rubber bands is you can, you know, finagle it. If they're not even on top, you can move it so that it is. Okay, sticking to the crossbars and one in the middle. Things get a little tight down in here after you get the petals on. But that's what makes it look so pretty and full. Place your petal down in there and tighten it up. You guys, you can overlap your petals if you want to. It's not necessary, but you can. If things like that drive you crazy, they don't me, but I know they do a lot of people, so. Just trying to make them all appear the same. That's under, that's under. All right, one more pink one, and then I will continue with the rest of the pink. Up the center. I just really fell in love with this sign. It's 3D. It's only a 6-inch sign for our poinsettia center. I just thought it was really pretty. You'll see more of it in here in just a minute. Grab your zip tie. Again, we're going to second bar up. Place your petal. Now this is our in-between one because remember we have them on the crossbars. Cut it off. And this is how we're starting our pink. Again, on the second bar. We're right here on this bar. I'm going to continue to put the pink petals on, and I will see you in just a minute. Okay, you guys, as you can see, I have finished the light pink petals all the way around. Before I go any farther, I'm going to prep my sign and get it ready to be put onto my poinsettia wreath. So here is the sign again. It's a 3D poinsettia. I'm using it for a center. So I just turn my sign over. Grab one of these cable mount ties. They're what I use to make sure that my zip ties are going to stay. These do have adhesive on the back, but I don't trust just the adhesive. So I'm going to take some permanent Gorilla Glue, put that on there. And I'm also going to, this is for long-term hold. This glue gun and the hot glue is going to be for short-term hold. Let me grab a glue stick. Okay, I'm just going to glue this with hot glue and my permanent Gorilla Glue. Place it directly down on the sign. I'm going to be using 2 of these. I will try to remember to link these down below. They hold on to your zip tie, pipe cleaner, whatever it is that you're going to use. You can always use like a piece of felt or material and use that to keep your ties in place. So I've got my sign going on. I'm going to set it to the side while we complete the inner row of petals. Okay, back to our wreath. It's very pretty. I've got the pink or the light pink petals on now. Okay, remember you guys, you can always rewind, speed up, you know, whatever you need to do. I'm not going to show you with as many petals because this is going to be our final row of petals. So I'm going to put gold in the middle. Bring it up. I'm going to show you the placement of these petals. Okay, for these we're going to be using the inner bar. Right here is where I'm going to be placing the gold petals in between the light pink nubs. That's what I call them. They're just like a little nub or stub, whatever you choose to call it. But this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to be putting my petal around or through. Try to get it as close as I can to the bar in between. There we go. I'm going to place this down in here. Directly in between these. Just like that. I will continue to put a gold one in between every one of the pink ones on this inner bar. So let me cut that off. By now you guys probably understand how to fold the petal, so I'm not going to show you each fold. Like I said, if you're not getting it, you can always rewind. For this next one, I'm going right again around the bar. And my zip ties upside down. Around the bar. Lay my petal down in there. Things get a little tight when you get to this point. And there you go. Tighten it up. So say for instance you do not have a sign and you have a middle that you've made or bought or whatever you're going to do, you would just continue the layers until you get the center filled in. Of course, I'm using a sign that I have in my shop. Okay, I'm going to show you one more how it's going to be put in. And just place it in the zip tie, making sure it's in between the two light pink petals. I think it's going to be so pretty with all of this gold. Okay, so you guys get where these are going to be placed? Around this bar, the very center. I'm going to continue adding these gold ones in the center. Then we will put on our leaves, add the sign, our wreath hanger, and the backing. So I'll be right back after I finish the gold. Okay, you guys, I've completed the gold. And I think it's so pretty. Now, before we place the sign in the middle, I'm going to turn it over. So I'm going to place the zip tie just right in here. I'm going to have a back on here so it's not going to look messy or anything. Clip it. This is going to be the wreath hanger. Well, I just tightened that up. That's okay. Okay, then I'll put the little notch in the back so it doesn't scratch anyone's door, even though this wreath is going on my door. Okay, now I'm going to add just a couple of leaves. I've thought about it and I didn't know if I really wanted to do it, but I think I do because it's a poinsettia flower, and of course all flowers have leaves. Okay, you guys, I've got it completed to that point. I'm going to turn it over. Now I'm using green poly burlap for my leaves. Not so sure they're going to show from the front, but they will from the side. And I just want to make sure I have a completed flower with the leaves placed on it. I folded this leaf the exact same way I folded the rest of the petals. So I'll show you with this piece. Bring it up. We're just doing the exact same fold. And I use a rubber band. I'm going to show you how I place them before putting our back on. The back doesn't look too messy, but I just like for it to give it a finished look. Okay, so for the green leaves, I'm going to go back to this crossbar at the very tip of it. Like I said, I don't know if this is going to show, but I know they're on there. Take my 6-inch zip tie, go through the crossbar and around the outside bar, place my leaf in there, and tighten it up. Okay, the next one, I think I'm going to do 3 petal folds for the leaves. I'll make 3 of them. Sometimes I got to get my needle nose pliers, you guys. My hand strength is not what it used to be. And our final leaf. You know, things look better on a wreath in 3s than they do 2s. So for this one, I'll go around this crossbar, place my final leaf down, and this is going to have a back on it, so you won't be able to see any of this when I get finished. Okay, get that a little tighter. Okay, now we're going to place the sign, and how I do that is, we have already gotten it ready to this point. I'm going to take 2 white pipe cleaners, Chanel stems, whatever you prefer to call them. Put it in. Tie it onto itself. Again, the same with the other one. I want to make sure it's good and tight on here. Okay, now we're going to place the sign. Simply bringing it down, try to find your center. There we go. Okay, I gently tie it at first, just to make sure it's in the center where I want it. Okay, I think that is good. so I'll be able to cover the back of the wreath. Again, you do not want these sticking out. You don't want anything to scratch the door. That's another reason for putting a back on the wreath. So here we go. I think it's beauteous. You can just see peaks of the leaves sticking out. So there you have it, you guys. Now I'm going to put a back on here. And you guys, if you haven't yet, please check out my Etsy shop. I have wreath signs and ribbons available in there for all seasons. Okay, I'm going to turn this over. Okay, you guys, I just have a piece of cotton fabric. It's pretty thin. The only reason I'm using this is to cover up the back. So I put my wreath frame down on top of my material, lined it up, and drew a circle around it and then cut it out. So it's nothing really fancy, but it does the job. So since this material is so thin, I can just take my zip tie, let's see right here, stick it through, wrap it around the outside bar of the frame, and tighten it up. Now I will be doing this all the way around. It doesn't have to be anything too excessive. That side's done, so I'll pull it this way. In fact, I'm just going to go around this way now. And making sure that the tip of your zip tie that is sharp is pushed down. Okay, for the next one, poke it through there, around the bar, and there you go. There I go. Okay, so you guys get the gist of what I'm doing. I'm going to continue to go all the way around, putting the back on, and I'll be back when I'm finished. Alright, you guys, I've completed putting the backing on my wreath. I may be adding a couple more zip ties to the places that aren't super tight. But everything is covered. Nothing can scratch a door. After I put the zip ties on, I pushed them down and around. So the smooth side would be sticking out in the back. Here's our hanger. Turn it back over. Make sure everything's neat. And pull up my petals because I just had it turned over. So I just pull them up and then they pretty much stand up themselves and stay that way, and I really, really love it. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. If you did, please take a minute to subscribe, hit the bell for notifications. It's absolutely free. Give me a like if you want to, and I will see you all in my next video. I'll get this up on the wall and you'll see it here in a minute. Thank you.